you are the last line of defense for your businesses. No one else is going to care when it comes right down to it. Things go poorly. I think the important thing, sometimes it feels like lonely and like you're on an island by yourself. Like all of those are definitely have been downs in the entrepreneurship journey. And where are you going to get more money? Where are you going to get more of this, that, or the other? Someone skips out on you. A CEO, I think, is more of a firefighter. As you get further in and you're a larger business, you're just putting out fires every day, not necessarily doing one job or another, but this is broken, gotta fix it for this to operate or people to work. And you tend to be the one that does that, or I do in my case.
He's essentially risking everything but nothing at the same time. And I know that probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but he has poured a lot of money into it. So of course he's risking his money and everything like that, but he wouldn't do it any other way. So to him, this is what you do, and he believes in himself well enough that he will absolutely win.
My name is Jackson Barnes, and I'm an entrepreneur. I'm from Locust Grove, Oklahoma, and been an entrepreneur all my life, pretty much.
I always figured he would do something because even as a first grader, second grader, he used to take Hot Wheels to school, and he would trade these Hot Wheels till he got what he thought was the best Hot Wheels. And after he got what he thought was the best Hot Wheels, he would sell them, and believe it or not, parents would send money to school for him to sell those Hot Wheels. And I would make him take the money back because I didn't think that was fair that he was selling what he thought was the best Hot Wheels. But anyway, I should have known he was going to be an entrepreneur then.
I own Naked Woodworks, Candy Flea Market, or B&B Flea Market, Tech Brothers, and I have a land gig that isn't really formed as a business. And those are my entrepreneurial tendencies, I guess.
On our first date, he told me that he owned, I think at the time it was about 4 businesses, and I was like, okay. I honestly didn't believe him just because he's so young and it seemed crazy. But after that, I slowly realized that he was not crazy and he legitimately did.
I think he has to work probably 10 times harder than if he had just gone and done a job. But that's not him. He is not going to go sit at some desk all day long and work on stuff for someone else, is what it is. He's decided a long time ago he's going to be his own.
I've always really liked self-help and business thought processes, or books, and I didn't I knew I was going to be entrepreneurial coming out. I've never really wanted to work for someone, and I'm willing to put in the 40, 50, 60, 70 hour weeks at $5 an hour if that's what it takes for me to be independent and not work for someone. I would rather do that.
My whole family does that because we've owned businesses my whole life. We owned the donut shop in the Locust Grove and the Dairy Queen, and yeah. So from the time that we were all little, that's what we saw, is businesses.
So Candy Flea Market is a flea market where everyone can store all of their stuff in their storage units, open on Sunday or Saturday and Sunday, and pull all their stuff out and sell like a normal flea market. And also in the warmer months, we have farmers markets where you can buy produce that is local in the town. I think the flea market is a great way actually for entrepreneurs to learn a lot about physical product selling. And Tech Brothers is a IT company that does routing and switching for large corporations such as Target, Dollar General, Family Dollar, Red Lobster, Olive Garden. We do end-to-end connections. We make registers work, make switches, communicate with bump bars, and every device in the store is connected to a router. We service that. What Naked Woodworks is a design company that produces the greatest cutting board in the world.
We also produce all kinds of other stuff, but we design in Adobe Illustrator and run stuff on a laser engraver or a CNC machine and do all the processes to get that all over the world, or mostly in the United States and nationwide, ship all over the nation.
Jackson's work ethic is unlike anything that I've ever seen before. A couple of dates in, I was taking a long time to get ready, and he was on his phone just like working for like an hour, and I'm like, in my head, when I'm off work at that time, like I'm off work, I'm like, why would you want to spend all of your time working? Like, why not like watch TV or something? I never really understood it until obviously I got into it. But everything he does in a day is assesses and prioritizes what is the most important and beneficial thing he can be doing that day.
A normal day for me is more income generation. So I look at what everything that I have going and decide is my time best spent taking a tech job? Do we have overflow in tech where I have tech jobs available? And a lot of that is just based on the season. So a lot of what I do day to day is based on the season. I typically do work a lot more than most people, 70 and 80 hour work weeks. And I hope to do this for a while, build businesses. Also, the work week isn't work to me, as I enjoy finding Facebook groups, making contacts, making relationships.
To a lot of people, to me before this, I would have thought that was horrible. Who would want to just work and work and work and work? But in all honesty, you want to do it. It doesn't feel like work.
So my end goal is to create a media marketing agency. So I'd like to take Naked Woodworks as a case study. So in year 0 to 1, we're close to $1 million. In year 1 to 2, it looks like we're on track for $2 million plus. I'd like to take these as this is the marketing that I did, this is what we found. Want to run businesses through this, buy a business, 10x the business, sell the business. Also, I would like to service larger companies in my tech, but on the marketing side. And whenever you create a social media marketing agency and you have the income in order to buy a really good copywriter, a really good videographer, a really good photographer, all of those make a huge difference in what you can do for a business. So all of that would increase Naked Woodworks and all of my other business efforts.
5 years from now, I see Jackson owning his own media company. That has been his end goal and his dream from the very beginning. He will always have Naked Woodworks and Tech Brothers and those things, but I really think that he just excels so well, and he's so good at marketing and advertising that he would definitely have his own media business.
My biggest motivation for creating multiple businesses and generating income through systems versus going to work and making the money hourly would be the time freedom that comes along with it, and of course financial freedom. And most people that are creating systems, generating income off of those systems instead of working, eventually do come out of it, and most of them are a lot built like I am. I will work whatever it takes in order to get to the point where the system can generate money. And my biggest motivation overall definitely is time freedom.
To work because you give up your time, an astronomical amount of time. It's not just, you don't give up just a little time.
Recently got divorced, and that process has definitely been hard, but it made I had to work a lot. I had to in order to go to school, to work, to pay for everything. If it made me more ambitious, I'd much rather have the ambition and the drive to build I do have, or I've been molded to have. And yeah, of course, divorce and family and kids are very hard to go through. And I did that in the middle of Naked Woodworks, startup time, growth time. I would say probably didn't make a huge difference one way or another, because I tended to focus more on my work life rather than my personal life at the time. and worked through.
It's very hard to like raise a family and to run like multiple businesses. I think that we do really well in that aspect, and I think that there's always room for improvement, but we definitely try. The kids will even come work with us if we have to like run lasers really late one weekend or whatever. We have a big TV at the shop, and we'll have them help us oil some boards or something, so and they get paid for it. So they really enjoy that part. But it's definitely about scheduling. This last Saturday, we had the kids for half the day, and then just his kids the rest of the day. So we planned it down to the exact minute, all the adventures and cool stuff we were gonna go on, just to make the most out of every minute we can.
It gets really interesting as like I get older and I am way closer to like time freedom. Like now I may or may not see my kids like as much as I would like with a 9-to-5 job, but like soon or at some point I can potentially do really cool stuff for and with my kids.
Jackson is a good dad. I mean, as far as taking care of kids, you know, and it's sad sometimes because he'll say, man, I need to be working, but he wants to see his kids. Or I'll say, how come you've got the kids? And he'll say, well, I haven't seen them in 3 or 4 days. I had to go get them. I wanted to see the girls. And so Jackson really is a good dad. He takes care of them. I believe that he has got it. I mean, in his mind, that's what he's going to be, a successful businessman. And it's funny because it almost makes me cry, because he said his whole life, he said, Mom, I'm going to take care of you. Mom, I'm going to take care of you. But anyway, yeah. So, yeah. He still tells me to this day, he'll say, Mom, it is not going to be long.
If you definitely believe in yourself, you can do it. Like if you work 80 hours a week, something good will come of it.
I think business ideas are a dime a dozen. I think there are tons and tons of really good ideas. Like if you wanted to start a physical product business, I could probably think of 3 off the top of my head that would do well in the space. The trick is there is no shortcut. Like any business that you do, you work very hard, and the hustle and the grind is what gets you there, not necessarily your idea.